Okay, how's everybody doing today? Of course, my name is Kent, and welcome to the live stream. Comment box is open. If you'd like to make a comment, I'll display it on screen, and we can talk about it. So today is Wednesday, December 6th, 1:30 p.m. I'm in Southern California. And of course, the title of this video is Why You're Broke, Why People Are Always Broke, and What You Can Do to Fix It. And I have actually a YouTube video up in front of me, and it's being done by, oh god, I got a thumbs up already, so it's starting to get some people to watch this. So we've got this graph in front of you, charts in front of you, and this is basically Michael Saylor. I put the title of this video very broad because I'm trying to capture people that aren't used to listening to this kind of information. So please be patient with me, because I'm not going to go at this from the direction I usually go at it and just talk about Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies. I'm going to talk to you about it in a different way. So when you look at this, I'm going to just play just a little bit of this video, because I can't play very much of it because it's not my video, and I can't use the material from my video if it belongs to somebody else. So here, I'm going to just play a few. The guy that's talking is a billionaire, multi-billionaire. In fact, he made $2 billion here recently on Bitcoin. How smart is this guy? I mean, he is so smart. He pretty much quit running his company, MicroStrategies, which is a publicly traded company, and just completely started making content on Bitcoin. And by doing that and using all of his company, borrowing money with his company at 0% interest to buy Bitcoin, and made $2 billion. So I think a lot of companies are going to start doing that. They're going to start going into their treasury, using the money that they usually, he has a software company, or a predictive software company, where he was using McDonald's and these kind of big firms were using MicroStrategies to calculate or kind of come up with some game plan for their future investments and where they're going to do what they're going to do. And, he kind of figured out over the years that, hey, I'm not doing as well as I thought I was doing. He was investing in other stocks, like high-tech stocks like Google and Apple and these. And he finally figured out that wasn't working anymore. And then he got into Bitcoin, and now he's been very prosperous. And here's a guy that's worth billions of dollars, who spends every day on a YouTube talking about Bitcoin. Time well invested. You would think, why would a guy worth a couple $1 billion sit on YouTube all day long? Well, that's why, because he's starting to get people to take notice. And here, I'm going to play just a little bit of this video. It'll play.
Use technology. Is there anybody that doubts that we're better at?
Okay, hold on. I'm in the wrong place. I got to go back to 43 seconds. Or actually, let's go back to 35 seconds. Or actually, is that 32? Yeah, we're at 32. No, they're 50. So let's go back to 25 seconds. Because I want to catch it right where he starts talking about stuff. Because I don't want to bore you with this other stuff he talks about. Here we go.
Inflation rate. Most of these investments and asset classes can beat the 2% inflation rate.
Okay, so what he's talking about is the government's trying to hit a 2% inflation rate, which is kind of not true, because they're trying to get average inflation of 2%. So it can go to 5, can drop back to 3, go up to 5, drop back to 1. They're looking for average 2%, not a strict 2%. So that's kind of and they also, it's not exactly 2%. It's like a floating number. So they could be within the 2% right now, based on the direction they think that the economy is going at, even though inflation's much higher. But that's what they're telling you, the 2%. But let's listen to this.
But as you can see, they can't beat the real inflation rate.
Right, the real inflation rate. The government's numbers are 2%. That's what they're telling you. That's what they're trying to hit. That's what everybody puts in the news. That's what you hear when you listen to CNBC and you listen to all these other networks, your Bloomberg or Fox News. They're telling you 2% is what they're trying to hit for inflation. But the real inflation rate is the monetary inflation rate, which is the money they're printing. So listen to this.
Asset inflation rate, or the money inflation rate.
Or money inflation rate.
The rate at which money loses value against scarce desirable assets. Now, as you can see from the chart, the worst investment is a commodity. You don't want to
commodities is the worst investment.
Buy oil or natural gas or lumber, because human beings are really good at producing lumber.
I said this the other day. This is exactly what I said the other day. Human technology is advancing all the time. We've got AI now. We've got bigger machinery. We've got better ways of doing it. They have better ways of finding minerals, gold, oil, all these resources. So we don't ever know the supply of oil. We don't know the supply of gold. There's supposed to be more oil in Puto Bay than will last the rest of the world. So we can figure out new ways of finding commodities, new areas, new parts of the world that they're undiscovered, that have not been used, untapped resources. So commodities is way down here. See, here's the 2% that the government talks about. Here's what we're actually dealing with. When you go to the grocery store, you buy gasoline, you buy a new car, you buy a house, you're dealing with 8 to 10%. I've heard a lot of people say this number's up around 10%. He's got it a little over 8. And this is where everything else falls in. Commodities we're losing you money. Cash is losing you money. Cash is fall below the 2%. What is this? And the only things that are really kind of beating it are REITs, which is real estate trusts, and EM equities, maybe small cap, I don't know. But see, all these things are basically not even coming up. You're not even staying even with the game. So whatever you own is losing you money, and that's why you're poor, and that's why you're broke. And the other thing, the reason you're poor and you're broke is because your wages haven't kept up with this monetary inflation. People aren't getting 10, 15% raises. You have to get 10% just to stay even every year on your raises for your job or whatever you do for a living. You got to get 10%. So if I'm a contractor and I bid my prices, I got to raise them every 10%. I got to raise them 10% every year just to keep up with what the money is losing, the monetary value or the monetary inflation. I got to raise my prices every year 10%. Well, it is not going to be very long, and you're not going to have any jobs because somebody else will be doing it cheaper, and they'll be going out of business.
And oil and natural gas. I mean, we use machines, we use factories, we use technology. Is there anybody that doubts that we're better at making oil or gold or silver or platinum today?
Exactly. And the people I listen to today that are really down on Bitcoin are people that are gold people. One of the people that's really this guy right here, Peter Schiff. I don't know if people know who he is, but he has, he's an American stockbroker. I used to be a stockbroker too. That's what his title is. He's 60 years old. He's younger than I am. I figured this stuff out way before he did. So anyway, this guy makes a lot of money by people buying gold stocks, and that's how he makes his money, selling gold. They don't even buy the gold. They buy the gold stocks. You know, he's got some sort of investment firm. I don't know what it is. I don't really pay much attention to him, but he's always on the internet, and he's always touting gold and telling everybody Bitcoin is garbage. Let me see in his Wikipedia what he's he is Euro Pacific Capital, dealer broker, is also investing in. So he's got some Euro capital. I wonder how that's doing. So anyway, very interesting. I told you the other day why commodities are so bad. Commodities are so bad is because of shorting. And by the way, people are getting killed right now by shorting Bitcoin. Bitcoin blasts through 170 million in bearish shorts as BTC targets 48K. So anybody shorting Bitcoin, what shorting is borrowing it or owning it, selling it in the future. And then the difference is either you lose or you win. These people are losing, and they've lost 170 million because Bitcoin price is busted through 44,000. The other day we were at 43, the other day 42, the other day 39. I mean, it's just continuing to go higher. And then you got guys like this guy, Robinhood Stock Source. This is the blockchain, by the way. These are the transactions going on. So it's transparent. This is actually live transactions on BTC right now. You can pull it up. It's called blockchain.com, and you can actually watch the transactions going through. Here's the hash. There's the amount, and that's the amount of BTC, $1,300. This is the live transactions of the blockchain. So yeah, you might want to watch that if you're interested. Understand it. You can start to wrap your mind around how Bitcoin works. So I want to show you real quick. Well, actually, I want to talk a little bit about gold and silver. So you got guys like Peter Schiff that are talking about how gold is real money, Bitcoin is digital money being money that's not real money because it's digital, and nothing digital is scarce. Digital is just printed out on a, control C, control C, and then control V. Don't even know what it is. Control C, control V, and you paste it back in something else. It's digital. It is no scarcity. But Bitcoin was able to solve that and make it not scarce, which now they can use it as money. But I want to show you this other guy. This guy, let me pull the video back. He's a gold and silver guy. And he's talking about what happened to gold just recently. I haven't even looked at it, but I guess it took let me see what gold's done. The Dow is down 70 points. The S&P's down 17 points. The Nasdaq's down 83. Gold is up, but look at what it was at one time. It was 2148. Now it's back to 2043. And this guy talks about this. It's pretty interesting. He's got 243,000 subscribers, and he's a gold guy. But listen to this. He's trying to figure out why gold went down.
Ripped up to all-time highs in a matter of minutes, and then just as quickly collapsed back down to lower than it was before. Well, I'm going to tell you exactly how.
Now, why did that happen? Why did gold go real high and go real low? But what I told you the other day about these guys right here that are always they don't literally own gold, but they can sell contracts on the futures market and drive the price down. And that's exactly what it does. He doesn't say that's what happened because he can't admit to that, because that shows you the fallacies of gold. And so he tells you some other thing. It's just a market thing. And, it's healthy for the market. He's going through that same old stuff. He looks like a young guy. I've been through this 100 times. I had my blood, sweat, and tears in farming. And, I saw him do this all the time with corn prices and all the commodity prices. And now this is a young guy who just he's bought an idea and he won't let go of it. Like Peter Schiff. They've bought an idea and they can't let go. They got to just keep on driving it into the dirt, and they can't accept the reality of what this is. It's a commodity. And in the world of commodities, they don't keep up with his commodities is the very lowest one it is. They don't even keep up with consumer inflation, which is what the government tells you, let alone monetary inflation, which is what we're dealing with every day on a daily basis. And then you got cash, and then your house is just barely beating. But houses is not a good indicator because some real estate's better than others. Real estate is like location, location, location. So you can't really use a real estate as a gauge on inflation, but it is beating the government inflation. It's not beating monetary inflation, but there are places in the world where it is. So, and he also goes, I'm not going to play it because it takes too long, but he says in this, he's been investing in stocks, mainly Google and Apple. And like I say, he's a billionaire. He's made $2 billion in Bitcoin here recently. Right there. Michael Saylor, Bitcoin bet profits $2 billion just for making a few YouTube. Man, you get paid in YouTube. This guy bought Bitcoin, went on YouTube, started making a bunch of videos, made $2 billion. I mean, how smart is that? He didn't go out and mine gold. He didn't go out and use a bunch of diesel fuel in the farm, trying to create corn or, buy, farmland. He just bought Bitcoin because he's smart and he understands it and he gets it. And you don't need to buy $2 billion worth. I mean, you don't need to buy 175,000 Bitcoin to do the same thing. You can do it with a half a Bitcoin or a quarter Bitcoin. It's just that this guy's got a lot of money, and he's, you could do the same thing, but just not on a big scale like he did it. But it's the same principle applies. But back to, Peter Schiff. But I want to talk about one other thing here. How much time have I got left here? Oh, I'm in 14 minutes. I got plenty of time. So, let's just look at one other thing I want to talk about real quickly. Let me see what else I got in my notes here. I want to talk about Jamie Dimon. If you don't know who Jamie Dimon is, he is the CEO of Chase Manhattan Bank. And if you don't know anything about Chase Manhattan Bank, you know that that's Pierpont Morgan's bank. And Pierpont Morgan was one of the richest men in the world. He actually lent money to the government when they were in trouble. So this guy's a big-time banker. Because what does Bitcoin do? It eliminates the banks. So this guy comes out and says this. He says, JP Morgan Diamond on Bitcoin, close it down. And why he does that is JPM stock is down 1.5%. Chase CEO Jamie Dimon minced few words when asked at Senate hearing on Wednesday, that's today, what to do about crypto. Use for illegal activity like terrorism and drug trafficking. God, they can't give up the fact that Bitcoin is used for. I mean, come on, guys, this is funny. He's still trying to play that same old garbage that Bitcoin is somehow only used for drug activity. You got a country running their country on Bitcoin, El Salvador. That's not, El Salvador's using it as their currency, just like we use the US dollar as a currency. And he says it's a drug trafficking tool. Oh my gosh. This guy he's a clown. He's a clown. Yeah, that's all I can say. Let's just look up clown. CLOWN. This is Jamie Dimon right here. He's a clown. He's a clown right there. Jamie Dimon, you're a clown. You're that clown, that clown, that clown, that clown, and that clown. You're a 6-time clown. Jamie Dimon, you're a clown. What does Nelson Mandela say? Nelson Mandela says, first, they ignore you. Second, first they ignore you. Second, what was the second one? I think I'm trying to think of what Nelson Mandela says. I can't remember what the quote was. Doggone it. I'll look it up. That's why I do these online. Okay, here we go. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they attack you, then you win. We're in a phase of they're attacking us right now. And this is Jamie Dimon. And I went through yesterday with Warren Buffett how Bitcoin's now bigger market cap than Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway. So they ignored us at first, they laughed at us, and they attack you. And they've been attacking us for 3 years on Bitcoin. Because back in the 2018, 2017, you couldn't even run YouTube ads, or you couldn't even run like ads on Facebook for Bitcoin. It was like something like, it was like a drug thing, it's terrorism, it's drugism, just like what Jamie Dimon said. He's a few years old with his attacks. I mean, that attack went on a few years ago. So first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they attack you, then you win. So we're winning right now. So it's 44,000. Look at this thing, man. The last 14 days. Look at this. Now, if he's telling me that's all drug trafficking and illicit activities, somebody needs to remove him and, basically sit down and find out if he's really, has any kind of ability to understand information, because that's not drug trafficking, my friend. That looks like real, actual activity. And I want to show you something else here real quick. So the last time Bitcoin went up, it went from 5,000 to 67,000. So it roughly 13 times went up. So 13 times. So we're at 44,000. Let's just say it's already gone up quite a bit. Let's just say it goes up to 10 times this time. And I think it could go more than 10 times because we've got people like BlackRock that want to be in this. And they got a lot more money. So they're going to drive the price even higher. I will talk about BlackRock after a while, or after the ETF gets done, because I don't think the ETF is a short-term windfall. It's going to make huge money for a lot of people the next month. But I think BlackRock, when they get their ETF, they will have some control over Bitcoin that doesn't allow it to do what it's doing right now, which is literally go 10 times, 12 times, 15 times up higher in a short period of time. It will be a little more flat. But by the time it gets to be that flat, it could be 100,000. I mean, it could be $500,000 to $1 million of Bitcoin. By the time the institutional investors get in, we could be at least 500,000 in Bitcoin by the time the institutional investors get filtered into this thing, because their money is going to just drive it up higher. But once they all get in, now they have the ability to kind of make these swings less big, not as big as they are right now. But if you look at let's go max. because at this point right here, this is Bitcoin at 5,000, and that's March 2020. Okay. At April, let's see, March 2020, just keep that time. In March 2021, 1 year later, 12 months later, it was 57,000. So from 5,000 to 50,000, that's 10 times. Okay, right now we're at 44,000. That's 440,000. So this could be 440,000 in a year, $500,000 in a year. That's why it's going up 4% a day. And that's why Jamie Dimon's a clown, because he can't handle this, because it's going against his bread and butter, which is the banks. The banks have been robbing from us for years. They're the reasons why we have this stimulus money. This is the reason why we're all living under the stimulus money of the government, is because the banks have ruined the economy with the printing of the money and with their monetary fiscal policies. So yeah, Jamie Dimon is a clown. And the other thing I want to tell you before I leave it at 21 minutes here, I will have to get these done before 30 because my software starts to run out at 30. So we are going into stimulus. More people are going to get stimulus. You're going to get stimulus for your home loan. You're going to get stimulus for your car loan. You're going to get stimulus for everything, because they're not going to want the economy to fall. They're going to continue to print money and everything like that. But what that does is it creates dependency. And you will become dependent on the government and a government stimulus payment that will be given to you through your digital wallet with the central bank digital currency. So if you want a little bit of ability to be independent from that stimulus money that the government gives you and live off of that for a while, you're going to have to get into Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's something that isn't attached to any politics, any government, any world leaders, or any corporations or companies or anybody like Jamie Dimon, wherever he's at. So do yourself a favor. Buy a little bit of Bitcoin, stay with it. This guy right here, or better known as a clown. Because he wants to protect, instead of thinking about the people out there that are being hurt, he's thinking about himself. Look at this dude. He's got a fancy jacket on. Look at this, man. Nice jacket, leather jacket looks like, or is it some, maybe it's cloth. Oh yeah, he's been living well. He doesn't look like he's missed any meals. He doesn't look like he's missed a house payment. He doesn't look like he's struggling to make ends meet as a single mother. He doesn't look like he's had a hard time in life. This guy's been nothing but privileged his whole life. And he wants to speak out against something that's actually helping people to get out of poverty. So come on, go away. Go crawl under your rock, your JP Morgan rock, and quit saying outrageous stuff like Bitcoin's nothing but, money that's drug money and terrorist money. That's absolutely insanity, absurd. Really makes me upset. Say more, but I don't want to put it in a video. I appreciate you watching. Oh, and thanks for the thumbs up.